What is going on, Raptors Nation? It is Luca here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. The Toronto Raptors lose to the defending champion Denver Nuggets at home, and we're going to talk about it. Before we dive right into it, please do me a solid, everybody. Hit a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. I do a video after every single Raptors game, for better or for worse. So you definitely want to keep it locked and loaded on the Raptors Nation YouTube channel. And also, I drop the Raptors Nation podcast every Thursday. The newest episode of that will drop tomorrow. So you definitely don't want to miss that as well. The Raptors, same old story in this one, same old woes. It looked like the Denver Nuggets were going to cruise to the emphatic blow of victory against the Raptors, but then the Raptors did make it interesting as the bench led a big comeback, but that comeback falls short as the Nuggets basically put this game away and toyed with the Raptors when they needed to. The fake comeback comes up short as the Raptors lose this game. And what can I say, guys, to begin this one? I mean, the same issues. The Toronto Raptors continue to get off to very, very slow starts. They were outscored 29-20 in the first quarter, and it was basically Denver throughout. The Denver Nuggets really flexed their muscles in this one, proving why they are a well-oiled machine when they are healthy. They led by as many as 21, and the Raptors are just going to get stops. I mean, especially late when the Raptors did make that comeback thanks to its bench. They just couldn't slow down the Nuggets as they got so many big shots made by their stars. Jokic was big. He had 31 points. Nuggets shot at 50% from the field. They were 36% from three, but they just got big buckets when they needed to, and they were just constant. They could not be stopped as all five of the Nuggets starters in double figures. Also, Watson with 11 from off the bench. Like I said, Jokic had 31. He led all scorers. And Jamal Murray, Canada's own, with 20. So the Raptors getting off to a slow start. And really, the effort was non-existent in this one, guys. And I said this on X. I mean, it only seemed like Scotty Barnes was the only one playing with a sense of urgency and actually wanting to win out there. In the first half, no Raptor wanted anything to do in this game. I mean, Siakam put up some points. Barnes had his. But other than that, there was absolutely nothing given by this Raptors team. And then the effort did pick up into the fourth quarter when the bench exploded. But it was too little too late at that point, as the Raptors bench, got to give them a lot of credit. They did do its job when it looked like this was going to be a blowout, big blowout loss, and the Nuggets resting their starters, Raptors bench able to go on a run. But then as soon as the Raptors bench sat out, some of the starters come back in, and that's all she wrote for this Raptors team, as the bench, Precious Achiuwa played well, 13 points, 6 of 10 from the field. Malachi Flynn hit a couple of big threes. Gary Trent Jr., he had 12 points, 4 of 9 shooting, and Chris Boucher had 5. The bench, like I said, really came alive. And they actually gave some help to Scotty Barnes, who was the lone bright spot in this one for the majority of the game. Scotty Barnes, another one of his gems, spoiled in a loss here. Barnes, 30 points, was 13 of 21 from the field, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block. Scotty Barnes deserves to be an all-star. Siakam had 18 points, but he was a minus 17. Continues to struggle from 3, which isn't helping anybody. 1 of 5, 7 of 16 from the field. And then Dennis Schroeder, I mean, the critics are starting to get louder and louder, but rightfully so. He has not been good in the last couple of games here. Minus 17, 7 points, 3 of 8 from the field. OG, once again struggling, only 9 points in 40 minutes, 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. Can't have OG playing this poorly, especially when you go up against the defending champs. And then Jakob Poeltl, I mean, this continues just to be a very unfortunate situation here. But once again, benched in the second half of this game. Only 4 points in 19 minutes, 2 of 5 shooting, minus 12. And this stat put out by Josh Lewinberg, very, very eye-opening. And it makes you think, why did the Raptors trade away a 2024 first-round pick for Poeltl? As numbers don't lie, guys. Per Josh Lewinberg of TSN, Raptors over the last 7 games with Poeltl on the floor, minus 49. Without Poeltl, plus 23. Good player, bad fit. And I mean, in this one, it was justifiable not to play him in the second half. Precious Achiuwa definitely played a lot better and he deserved more of the minutes there. And it's just going to be one of those things that we're going to have to monitor here. Jakob Poeltl, he has had moments where he has looked really good, but then there's times where he just doesn't look like the right fit out there with this Raptors personnel. And in a game like this, struggling, I mean, it is unfortunate, but you see him benched and you realize why. But it just goes back to the fact that, yeah, the Raptors trading for Poeltl right now doesn't look like it was a good move. And, a lot of fans were screaming for that when the move was first made, where the Raptors tried to make it work. And right now we are seeing that Poeltl with this type of system, type of personnel, not meshing well at all. So very, very disappointing there. And, you look at this Raptors team, the effort continues to be an issue. You have guys who are struggling, don't look to be good fits. And although I don't think it's going to fix this mess that is the Toronto Raptors, and I've had my fair share of opinions specifying that I think it's in the best interest of this team to finally rebuild around Barnes and shop their veterans for assets. However, at this point, and they even touched on this during the broadcast, Darko Rajakovic has to shake up the starting lineup, because when you look at these games and you're seeing the common theme of Dennis Schroeder not looking good in stretches, Poeltl now being unplayable, also getting off to poor starts, it's time to shake things up. And, whether that's benching Dennis Schroeder and bringing in a Gary Trent Jr. who has been playing a little bit better lately, maybe that's the move. And you try Scotty Barnes at point guard full time. Like I said, I don't think a starting lineup change is going to fix this mess, because it's more about the roster construction being a disaster. But at this point, you got nothing to lose. I mean, the Raptors, they're downright bad at this point. I mean, don't let that fake second half comeback, fourth quarter comeback fool you. Like, this team has a lot of issues. And when the Raptors aren't clicking or doing a couple of things right, they look like an abomination of a team. So, I mean, before you do go to those inevitable roster changes, it might be time for Darko to switch up the starting lineup and see if that changes anything, at least as it pertains to the slow starts, because that's something that's been going on. I mean, the Raptors continuously off to a bad start, and they keep finding themselves in these double-digit deficits. You're not going to win games when you got to constantly come from behind. I mean, it works against teams like the Spurs and the Wizards. It's not going to work against teams like the Nuggets, and we saw that. As the Raptors lose at home, they're 11-16 now. And then the final thing I'll say here to kind of wrap up this postgame, guys, is, again, if the Raptors are going to be bad, I don't know why Grady Dick's not getting any minutes. And people are going to say he's not ready, but it's not like the Raptors are in a position where they're competing anyway. Like, this is a team that is on the verge of a lost season. Let Grady Dick get reps. Let Grady Dick figure it out in real time. I mean, he spent some time with 905. He wasn't even with 905. He was with the team, didn't get playing time. I know he gets to practice with the players, which helps, but put him in the game. Let him shoot. If the Raptors are going to be bad, it's time they are bad the right way and they let these young players develop. Let Barnes be selfish. Let Grady Dick take his shots. Let Achua get it going, as he did in this one. The reality is, this Raptors team, it looks like the best case scenario at this point is they're going to be battling for the play-in. So let the younger players develop accordingly, because clearly right now, guys, this just looks like it's not getting any better. We're 25-something games away from the deadline. Raptors are going to have a bunch of road games coming up. They've obviously struggled on the road. So barring a miracle, I'll put it at that, barring a miracle, this thing's not turning around. And, there's going to be some big decisions that need to be made. But I think for the time being, a starting lineup change is probably imminent if Darko decides to go on that route. Because, Darko, there are times where he does make a lot of questionable decisions in terms of, who he brings in, who he puts out. And, I think it's time for him to shake up the starting lineup just to give some life to this team, especially at the beginning of the games. Because, I mean, there were moments in this one where it's just an absolute terrible product to watch. And you're just thinking to yourself as a Raptors fan, man, like, this team, they need some changes. So We'll see if a starting lineup change happens, but ultimately, I think, roster changes are needed when it comes to this Raptors team and roster, and that's something that I've spoke a lot about in these post-game videos. But that is it for me, everyone. Just want to do a recap. The Denver Nuggets, they are very, very good, and they beat the Raptors 113-104. What were some of your takeaways in this one, guys? Let me know your thoughts. Hit a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all again in the next one.